family. Start. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Blessings, Primetime Home Buyers family. And we're here live on another Get Right Saturday where y'all know I'm out selling. So I'm going to come and I'm going to do a live with you guys and we're going to talk about some stuff. And while I'm out here with you guys surviving hard times, I want to give y'all some tips and some hints. And let's just talk about some stuff like we usually do. So today we're just going to focus on preparing for the layoff. Or I wanted to put in the title, preparing for the walk away too. There's many individuals right now that's walking away from their profession because of the or because of the stress level, not being able to have enough employees there, hating their boss, whatever may be the situation. They said that this is the great resignation. So we know many individuals are getting prepared to be in different situations, and this is a big transition for many individuals. So let's talk about it. One of the things I would like to say, there's different ways from leaving a job. You know, you can be laid off, you can quit, you can be fired. You know, there's many different ways. So be aware. If you are on a job and you know that things are not right and you feel stressed and you know that you just hate it when you go there, most likely you're not going to be there for long. So this video is for you. And this video is just highlighting some of the things that we can do to get prepared for the walkaway. And the reason why I feel like I can share this information with you guys, being a travel nurse, I have always had to prepare for the walkaway. You know, be it 13 weeks contracts times 2, be it 8 weeks contract, having to always look for employment, go through the actual application process can be very strenuous. So I do understand that, and that's why I want to talk to you guys about it, because this is a very sensitive situation. As we know, many individuals in the United States will not be able to survive over 30 days or 2 weeks or 2 consecutive checks being missing. That will literally send a lot of us into poverty. Many middle class people who think they're doing well are literally living check to check. So we have to come up with a better frame of mind and a better way to approach this situation so we can get out of the rat race of living check to check. And it all starts with a mindset. It starts with a mindset, it starts with a plan, and it starts with a goal. Okay? Now, first thing I want to say, if you know the job sucks, you know you're hearing about layoffs, or you're part of the great transition where you ain't taking the jing, then it's the first thing you can do is make sure that your resume is up to date, as well as make sure that you get enough contacts from your job and references as possible and resources that you may need in your transition, because some people leave the job and they leave all the important information behind and they wasn't able to prepare. But if you see the red at the end of the tunnel, start to get prepared, get your resources, start to get your references, start to talk to people like, hey buddy, you know, if I'm not here and I want to just move on, would you be my reference? Those type of conversations you start to have with individuals around you, so you can start to build that network so you can take that step ahead. Okay, the next thing I think is very important is to pay as much bills as possible. Depending on your income, you can do this or you may can't, but the best thing is to allocate your funds to the most priority, which is your living situation, your form of transportation, as well as high interest credit cards. The more those high balances stay on the credit card, the more debt you get and the harder it is to pay it off. It's called compound interest, and it's going to compound and compound. So if you can pay those credit cards or those bills that have high interest with priority, and then you know you work the ones with lower interest, you're going to see that you'll be able to pay debt off more efficiently, because you have to understand compound interest versus simple interest. It's very important. If you have a mortgage, You want to review your mortgage terms. Get prepared to see if they have hardship programs available. Based on the current pandemic, they did have a lot of programs that was federally put in place, but a lot of things have shifted. So you need to be in contact with your lender to talk to them about these things that may come up in the near future. And start to have these conversations with them. So if it was to happen to you, they'll be prepared, you'll be prepared, and you'll have a rapport with your lender, and they may be willing to work with you more, okay? As far as renters, it's a good thing to have a good landlord. I know it ain't easy. It ain't easy these days. But to establish a rapport, be choosy of who you move in with, and ask them, like, what's the situation? Are you planning on raising the rent? This is the situation. Would you mind if I pay you on the 5th to 15th? These type of things you start to negotiate ahead of time so they can be prepared, and you don't have these grievances in the relationship between your landlord and your tenant. If not, it gives you enough time to prepare to make some moves out if you cannot meet solid ground before things start to escalate, okay? Next thing, very important, is gather information, as I told you. Any type of resources that you can about programs that they have around, about people who've been laid off. There's a lot of new programs that started, maybe in your state, your town, but closed mouth don't get fed. And if you don't look for it, you're not going to find it. A lot of people in the city are able to actually get resources. Out here in the South and some of these suburb places, these places they call towns, it's hard to get the resources you need. But if you're in a city area and you're able to, or relocate to be able to do that, sometimes you're going to have to do what you have to do to survive, because this is surviving tough times, okay? So at the end, when you feel like, or you know that you're about to lose your job, or you're about to walk away, you got to make it count. Now, I'm going to give you an example, and I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to tell you a story, just bits of a story of my situation, where I am a registered nurse, and, being put in bad situations versus the COVID and other things as far as management interaction. I felt like it wasn't a good idea to stay with this facility anymore because of the pressure, and I saw the writing on the door as far as what management was trying to do. So to protect myself, to protect my rapport, I chose to resign. And some people are like, why would you do that? Get fired so you can get unemployment. You will be able to get unemployment when you resign. You probably have a little penalty, but then you can also, it's the terms of which you resign on. And I resigned based on hardship and bullying in my workplace. So once I was able to put paper to pad and literally write a 7-page exit letter, I literally got bought out as a PRN worker. I was given my paid days off, the days that I had scheduled. I was paid out at the highest rank, as well as I received apologies from management, from the corporate office, and wishing me the best of luck. And they were so sorry about the situation, knowing how draconian their whole facility was. So I tell you that because sometimes when you express yourself in a certain situation, you'll be able to negate the outcome of it. In the situation where I felt like my supervisor was setting up shop to come and get me, I said, no, this is not going to happen. And I made sure that I documented, and I took evidence of the interaction, of the things that she was doing. And it was evident when I gave my resignation that when I received the basically disconnect letter, it said because of manager issues. And it's like basically manager bullying, okay? So if you have any situation similar or not, where you can define why you're leaving or what's the situation in a dignified way, possibly in a legal way that will put you in a strong legal standing, this may help you get your buyout. Now, I'm telling you, I literally got bought out and I was a PRN worker. Okay, so you don't have to be full-time. You don't have to be there forever. I was there for 2 years. And sometimes it's not what you said. It's not who you are, is what you say and how you say it. So negotiate your buyouts, know your worth, especially when you have put time into a facility and you have been abused. There is a lot of people that are actually going through this right now. So that's why I wanted to talk about the buyout, the walkout. Understand that you have position. Understand that these corporations don't totally, excuse me, my mouth kind of dry too. They don't totally have the power that you think they have over you. A lot of them are making decisions as far as mandating certain things that are putting them in liability. So keep that in mind as well, because you're being forced out of your position. So you have to be able to articulate that in a manner that if you want to take certain things to litigation, you will be able to represent it properly, okay? So surviving tough times calls for thinking outside of the box and making sure that you have a plan A, B, and C, and just having a positive outcome to say, I'm going to make it. It's going to work. We're going to be okay. God's going to have a plan, and we're going to move forward. You put your resume out. You get your contacts of people who you have worked with. They may have references for you. They may have places for you to go, to go fill out applications. That's how it is in nursing, so we always find a buddy or buddies that will help reference you. And I think that happens in a lot of different fields. So prepare. As you paid off most of your debt before this layoff happened, now you're going to have to cut your costs. You have to live as though you're in survival mode. It's literally, you're going to shop on a budget. Make sure that you plan your shopping before you go. Look for the things that you need. Buy the things that's going to last long, as well as talk to your kids and your family about the situation. We're going to talk about that. But cutting costs such as regulating. If you buy $300 worth of food every 2 weeks, you may have to buy $200 worth of food and make that happen, but you have to buy the right food. If you are buying coffee, as I told you, every day, you may have to just buy your coffee and make it at home. Buy your mug, your favorite mug, and have great coffee every day that you make. So have a plan. If your kids are in dance, in different curricular activities, they may have to sacrifice for a little while, or you may have to budget out for that particular activity to get you through for a couple of months until you're able to get back on your feet. Maybe talk to the director of their curricular activities and say, hey, I'm going to pay you this amount of money right now, but I don't have income coming in, so my next pay, I'm going to let you know, or whatever you can actually come up with them to help your situation and try to keep as much normalcy as possible in your situation at home, because it's not going to be easy. And I'm telling you this from experience, from being so many times being in between contracts and not having income and having to cut my costs, cut what I'm spending that time, budget, and made sure that before the end of that contract or the time where I was leaving that facility, that I paid my bills ahead of time. Like, for instance, God was so good that I ended up paying my mortgage a month ahead, and then something told me the next paycheck, pay your mortgage for the next month. If you can do that, depends on how your mortgage is allocated. And then I can just pay principal from now until January when my next mortgage is due, my next payment. So I made it my priority to pay my living conditions first. Survival mode, make sure, cut the cost, lower the water bill. At this point, when you have a home, you should know how much the average cost your water bill should be. And my water bill go up, I'll be on my kids like kryptonite, like, hold up, don't they have water? Shower too long, they know. So at this point where you're living a certain way, and you can have control over your bills when you stay in the house all the time. I homeschool, me and my kids home all the time. I work at night, so we're home all day, and we don't have all the lights on. We control our AC, heat, central air, whatever's going on. Our cooking, we cook together. We don't all go to the kitchen and cook different times. So that helps us save on gas. Even though that may not mean nothing, it means a lot. Also a family dynamic, because when they cook for everybody. When I cook, I got to cook for everybody. So, and we serve everybody. So that's a whole different thing. That's part of our family dynamics. That's what I talk about in a Black American homeschool. But these things are all intertwined with each other. So not only do you save on some gas, the gas bill, y'all literally having a meal together, y'all cooking for each other, y'all loving on each other in hard times. Yes, make meals that will stretch. We'll talk about that later on. We're going to talk about that in detail, but I can talk about some meals that can stretch. My baby girl know how to make it happen. All right, so plan for insurance loss. if you're going to lose your insurance, you need to be prepared. That's one of the slush funds you may have want to put to the side before you walked away from here. Like, hey, I may not get a job for 2 months, so I at least want to save enough money in my bank account or put to the side for the premium for particular insurance, because you're going to lose insurance. Or you can go into, and I don't say to do this all the time, to take from a 401k. But if you have a situation where you're in a dire need and you have a good amount of 401k and you like, okay, I'm going to have to take at least $10,000 or $5,000 out to help me survive for the next 3 months until things pan out, this jab thing pan out, I can get my business off the ground. I can take some of that money and invest it in tax liens and tax deeds. You know, we're going to start talking about that. I cannot leave that out, because it takes a small investment for you actually to get started, and it takes time for you to start to do the foreclosure, so you have time to build your money up, to save your money. But let's not get off the topic. So make sure that you save your money for your insurance. You make sure that you prepare for extra debts. It ain't easy. It's not easy. But if you build a network around you, as I say, family is everything. And I may have mentioned this story to you, and I want to mention it again, where I literally saw, it was like a 4-level, 2-sided duplex was built in 2 months by a Mexican family, and it made me cry. They did it in 2 months. Then they was out there partying in Newark, in the hood, and it was just so amazing to me. But they cohabitated, and I bet you they were all on survival mode for a while. But then when it came time, they worked together, put their stuff together, cohabitated, and they all just be going off to work, doing their own thing. This is something that we have to learn to do in our community. So cohabitating, learning how to respect each other, loving each other is very important, especially in times of survival mode. It's very stressful, especially if you're the breadwinner and you like, damn, I got these kids to take care of. I got these kids to take care of. Things are getting tight. What I'm going to do, have those conversations with your kids. This is the time where you're going to sit down and say, hey, times are getting tough, and we got to be prepared. I'm not going to be able to buy you the things that you want, but if Christmas time is coming up, holidays could come up, we can make contingency plans. It may hurt you right now, but in the long run, they're going to love you. Like when I was going through the poverty with my kids, literally where we were eating oodles and noodles and hot dogs, and I was trying to go to nursing school, single mother, it hurt me to have to take my kids to the park every day, all the time, you know, make them read. We have hot dogs. No, not hot dogs. I hate hot dogs now because they have so many. But like, you know, those $2.50 hood sandwiches. We'll go to the grocery store, buy some fruits, you know, and literally $15, have a nice picnic, be out all day, playing in the park. And I was sad in my heart because that's all I could do for my kids. But my kids, they remember that. And they be like, remember we used to go to the park every day? P-A-R-K, park. And it's like, they enjoyed it. We used to have picnics, Ma. And, you know, and I'm like, wow, they really enjoyed it. And we were struggling. And what I would do is go to the dollar store, pick them up. I said, y'all can pick 2 toys for $1. They're $2. $2 times 2, 4. And they'll have a toy, there'll be a soup, there'll be a water gun, there'll be something. They be having fun. So I know this is how I survived, and I love to share these stories with you guys because you can do it. In hard times, you can do it. You can build a loving relationship with your family. You can learn how to budget yourself and survive under any means. So moving on, I don't want to get too sentimental. Cut food expenses, I told you. I don't coupon. That's not that easy. That's Aggie. But I go to different places. Like I go to Aldi's to get my vegetables. I'll go to Kroger to get my meat. I'll go to certain places to go get my canned goods if I have to. I'm not a canned good person because shit is hitting the fan. I went to the dollar store, but $20 worth of canned goods. I ain't playing. Y'all better be ready. Buy that canned meat just in case these things don't come in, especially if you're going to be in hard times. I'm like, get prepared. Make a list before you go to the store. As I told you, don't overspend. Know what you want. No frills, baby. I get no frills. Ain't nobody beat. And half of the cereals is not good for the kids. If y'all watch them old videos that was coming about the General Milk, quote unquote, you know, with the metal in it, please. I always see crazy stuff. So I'm like, let's take it back to natural stuff. It probably tastes a little different. We're gonna make this happen afterwards. Your kids' taste buds will get adjusted to it. Grow your own. It's not easy, but I actually grew my first celery in my house, in my kitchen. So it's growing now. You know, I'm a city girl in the country world, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm actually growing my celery in my kitchen, which is nice. So hopefully I can do something this winter into this, you know, summer or the spring, and see what happens. Obviously, y'all see I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm gonna try. I am gonna try, okay? Those type of things. So avoid temptation. If you don't need it, don't buy it. If you don't need it, don't buy it. If you need it, buy it. Like what I did to get prepared, I said I always buy ink. I'm always going to, you know, Staples, spending all this money. Let me find a wholesale dealer and buy me some ink real quick, because right now I know my income is at a pause. I bought a whole bunch of ink for like $50, and it's gonna hold me over for a while, because I need that. I need it for my business. I need it for certain things. You know what I'm saying? So the things that you need, you go look for it at a discount. Don't just go shop around, okay? I always say shop around, okay? And avoid temptations. Now, I want to go into some tips and hints about tax liens and tax deeds, because next week 11/11. Y'all know I was what was it, Bone Thugs and Harmony. I'm horrible. I'm always trying to sing or rap, but with that goes to say 11/11/21 we will be releasing course 2. I'm so excited. But before we do that, the topic that we're going to talk about that day or prior to that day is basically about getting prepared to own a home. And we're going to talk about how mortgages work to a certain extent. I am very diverse in my learning. I love to learn. So I've been taking a mortgage course, learning how to be a realtor, but I'm not going to be a realtor. I just want the keys to the game so I can apply it as much as possible to the tax lien games for you. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. I'm literally taking a real estate course so I can make sure that I'm educated more to help you guys. So within this real estate course, we talk about different things as far as understanding the market. Okay, so to understand the market in the basic real estate, and you know, when you're doing with a home loan, is very important, tax lien and tax deed wise, because you're going to know where to invest, how to invest, what counties may be on the lower end of the investment scale, as far as if it's popular, if it's not, do you see if it's up and coming. And I made a video about that, how to choose property and how to research online about the property. If you go on Zillow, if you go on these real estate apps, they literally show you so much about the geographical area, the school, how the school is doing, crime rate, so many different things that's going to help you determine, should I invest in here, what may happen in the future, and then it's going to show you the price value as far as you're going on a basic real estate website. And then I show you in course 2, when you go to the tax lien office, the tax assessor's office, you can go in and see the value of the taxes in the home in real time, right in the tax assessor's office, you know, right online. So you'll know, okay, is the taxes going up in this potential area? Is this something that I should invest in? Is this a quick flip? So we're going to get into detail about that. Obviously, you see, I love to talk and I love to learn, and I'm going to share it with you. So let me see if there's anything else I wanted to talk about as far as introducing that. We talked about capital gain last week, understanding what capital gain is. A capital gain is something that's going to give you income. Just because it look nice, is your first house, that's not capital gain. Capital gain is something that you invest in. For instance, if you invest in a business that you're a silent partner, capital gain. A second house, capital gain. Those type of things, okay? When it comes to investing in real estate, you want to increase your wealth, and that's going to be done over a residual amount of time. One thing I want you to understand, and that we're going to highlight here, is the concept of money. Once you understand the concept of money, having more money than actual physical, tangible property and physical, tangible items may not be a good idea. A lot of people in the 2008 crisis literally lost tons of money, tons of equity in their home, but at the end of the day, they still had the physical home to hold on to see if the market was going to actually come back. So we're going to talk about market fluctuation next week. We got some things to talk about, market fluctuation and how to gauge it. And you literally, like, when I bought into the area that I live in right now, the price value of my home was like 20% lower, and I chose it for particular reasons, and it was within my budget. And now the price value of the home is just going up. just going up, up, up. And that's what I want to happen to you guys. I want you guys to be successful in your picks. Either you're picking for residual income when you're doing your tax liens or tax deeds, or you're picking to get the home. I was just talking to someone about that, and they was like, yeah, Georgia, what they'll do is have you buy the tax lien, and then they'll sell the house, and you won't get the house. I'm like, well, if they're going to play the game like that, and if they could get the house sold before you foreclose, then that's the way the game go. But you're going to get your money back, plus the interest, the money that you would have spent on nothing, the money you would have spent on nothing. You see what I'm saying? So you just got to pick and choose your battles. You may not always get the outcome that you want, but you have to be flexible in the perception of your goals, and always be ready to adjust. So if you're about to do the walk away, get ready. And it may be a reason. It may be a blessing at the end of the door. It may be a new cycle for you. My best advice is to listen to a lot of motivational speaking, because it's going to be hard, especially if you've been in that position for a long time and it's like you feel out of place because you're so used to doing it, and this is something that you love. Get some help. Okay, you're going to need it. You're going to need some mental strength, but it can be done. Get that love and support from your family. Make sure that y'all work together. Y'all come up with a plan, and y'all budget, and y'all save, and you let the kids in on it. Okay, so I want to say thank you for being with Lashley on Primetime Home Buyers Surviving Hard Times series. We will be releasing, like I said, another video this week, and that video is going to be focused on the content that I was telling you about, how to gauge the market, and we're going to release course 2. So I hope you're excited as me. Please get into the Primetime Home Buyers membership for $5. $5 for the whole year. That's all you got to pay. And you'll get access to all of these videos. You have access to this, but also the free bonus releases that I have inside of the course. So I release the bonuses inside of the membership for everybody. You also get access to the study hall. You get access to so much other stuff, okay? So we've been working over here for you guys. So love you, and thank you for being part of the Buyback family. Talk to you soon.